So if you don't know how to read, you don't know how to write, and then you have a business and you have people in your care, don't you see the divide? You're gonna pick and choose which client that you're gonna, put on. You're gonna pick and choose which client that you're gonna laugh at and mock and try to get kicked out. It's just you just playing God with it, because you realize that if you got the payroll system up, you're gonna do whatever it is that you want to do in order to get whatever it is that you want, because you already have the keys to the payroll. So that's the type of people that we dealing with right now. That's the kind of people that we dealing with right now. We got people that's hiding behind religion, right? You could even read this in the Quran. Like, you have people that hide behind religion. In order to justify why they steal. Why are you hiding behind religion? Like, there's this video that I'm gonna show y'all real quick. I'm gonna show y'all this video real quick. Now, this video I watched, right? It's called Episode 52 by Recovery Addiction, Snappy plus Graduate Story. Now, I was attending, hey, y'all send me likes, man. Send me likes, send me love, send me 111 if you listening right now. I know it's 16 people on here, but it's all good. All y'all 17 people that's on here, it's all love. So, هدايا جيسني سين كو tapped. حلقة في بس أربعة. I know كو tapped. I just need one person that types in 111 if you listening. Just one person. So, as you can see, 1 year ago, I was attending Access Healing Center. When this video came up, if you fast forward to the end of the video, like towards this part of the video, there's this client that talks about, his name is Mohammed, talks about his experience there. Now, when he was doing this, I was a client for Access Healing Center. The thing about it is, right, these were the 3 owners that ran this company, right? And as you can see, if you guys watch the video, and I'm gonna get that specific clip, they were asked a question about HIPAA, and you can watch it clear as day. This individual right here was talking about HIPAA, right? And was like joking about how HIPAA is so strict. Now, I can't quote it word for word because I gotta rewatch the whole video. But like I said, watch this video and just look at the body language. Just look at what's being said. And when you look at what's being said, right, go look at the billing records, the Form 990s, you know what I mean? Because everything is public information. And go read the testimonials of clients that came in that company and left that company, right, on their company website. And then just start to compare the two. Start to do your own research. Be like, wait. Is what this guy, Muhammad, is saying, is what he's saying just a little bit factual? Why would a owner of a company hate HIPAA or joke about HIPAA? It's your Health Insurance Portability Act. Why would you not like that? Watch this video. You're going to hear it clear as day. Them joking about HIPAA. Why would you joke about the laws that govern you? Oh, you know why? Because HIPAA is what? Where does HIPAA come from? I'm going to show y'all. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to show you guys what HIPAA is. Okay, HIPAA is an acronym for the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996. It is a U.S. federal law designed to protect patient health information. HIPAA establishes standards for the privacy and security of protected health information, PHI. HIPAA aims to ensure the confidentiality and security of patient health information, both in electronic and paper form. Okay, y'all got that right? So, yeah. So we don't read the negative comments that's on here. If you got negative comments, that shit don't mean nothing to me, to be honest. Can't stop what's gonna come out. It's just how it is. So this is HIPAA right here, right? But I want you guys to check this real quick. It says U.S. federal law, right? Designed to protect patient health information. And then down here it says what? HIPAA aims to ensure the confidentiality and security of patient health information, both in electronic and paper form. So basically what it is, it protects you. What it is, it protects patients from who? From providers that overstep their boundaries. But again, it's not a state law. It's a U.S. federal law. So, peep game. So, in that video with Access Healing Center, one of the CEOs is literally joking about HIPAA. Because here's how it works in Minnesota. You have the state. Look at these two as two different groups. The state versus the federal government. Just look at those as two different entities. The state versus the federal government. Now, people that are in the state coven, right, underneath the governor, right, of Minnesota, right, that is the state cult right there. Now, hey, it doesn't have to, I'm not saying it's bad, I'm not saying it's good, I'm not saying it's productive, I'm not saying it's negative, but every city has their own system. But what if those systems aren't being governed by the U.S. federal government? Because the U.S. federal government, don't they give money to the state in order to provide these state-funded programs for the clients? So here's the clients right here. Here's the state system. And here's the federal government, top of the pyramid. They're the bankroll. They bankroll all these state-funded programs till it gets to the bottom of the pyramid, to the people that they serve. Now, from the people that you serve to the people that serve these people, what's the first tier? Employees. Especially in healthcare companies, it's your counselors, your CPRSs, that they get that first-hand experience based on your company, that pyramid. You get what I mean? So when people demonize pyramids, right? Think about it. Every business is set up like a pyramid. You have the CEO and the other business owners, board of directors, right, who make the decisions of the company. And then you have the billing individuals, the managers, you know what I mean? And then so on, it's like the CPA accountants. And then once you get to the very bottom of the pyramid, right, you see how the bottom of the pyramid is longer, right? That's where the clients are at, or let's say you running like a clothing business, that's where your customers are located, right? But your customers are outside of the pyramid, you know? They're outside, below that line. But then the people that serve, that are the first defense line, right, or offense line, are your employees, your counselors, your CPRSs, your intake specialists. That's your first people who have direct contact with the money, which is either the customer, in this case, the clients. So you guys already know why they made the word client, right, as a lie. You know, everything a client says, they're just a loan, so they're paid in full. They're a cash cow. Let's say the clients are just a bunch of sheep, right? Let's say the clients are just a bunch of addicts who don't have no intelligence. the CEOs of the business are going to be happy because their main goal is for them to graduate and never come back to treatment, or at least facilitate that. But when the CEOs already view that the client is just a cash cow, now they're going to use a lot of psychological warfare and send it over to their team of employees so they can gaslight, second, blame, and then shame until that client loses their self-worth, and now they're back to square one, right? But in the meantime, what are they doing? What is that business doing? They are violating the confidentiality and security of patient health information. Now, just think about it, man. Just think about your favorite treatment center, right? What do they use for like their billing? What do they use? What software do they use? And when a counselor is like sitting down with you, assessing you, right? Are they actually inputting the right values into their system? Or are they adding more diagnoses onto your system? And who checks to see if the diagnosis that your counselor is asking you is legit, something that you're actually facing, like ADHD, like bipolar disorder, like all this other stuff? Or is this ways to just overbill you so you can become a cash cow? Thank you, Anissa Lisa, for sharing my life. So in reality, you're just really a cash cow to these companies, these healthcare companies, these people who don't know how to read, don't know how to write in English, don't know how to speak fluently. And even if they know how to speak fluently in English, they don't respect the federal law. Because like I said, the state has their own cults and the feds have their own rules and regulations. At the end of the day, the federal government has more power than the state. Because you can see right now in Minnesota, the federal government left the state alone for 5 years and they stole up to $1 billion. Now, would that have happened if every client, let's say every client that they were serving, right, went to Hazleton Betty Ford, which is a private treatment center, right? So you know that their family has money. So you ain't gonna fuck with those clients. You're not gonna mess with them. They're not coming from a state-funded program. You ain't gonna mess with them at all. And the majority of clients that step into state-funded programs, they don't have any more than $10,000 for the majority. Some of them became very rich, yeah, as clients. But then again, there's the majority, like 85 to 90%, don't even have at least $1,000 in their bank account or $5,000 in their bank account, right? Which is a good amount to obtain a lawyer to go against a treatment center or a healthcare facility that violated your Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996, right? So these businesses that I went to, not all of them, but some of them, they're looking at me as very intelligent, but they're also looking at me as someone that doesn't have the necessary money. But however, just money. So if I had $5,000, I could sue their ass and win, because I know I'll win. I know they will settle outside of court. I have that much confidence in myself that if a company did me wrong, and I had the money for a lawyer, that I would win the lawsuit, hands down, 99.9